Have you ever looked around and wondered why some people seem to attract respect the moment they walk into a room, while others, no matter how talented or hardworking they are, struggle to be noticed? Is it luck? Is it confidence? Or is there something deeper that most people never stop to understand? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Life isn't only about talent. It's also about perception, timing, and human psychology. Every day, people unknowingly give away their influence through small decisions they don't even realize they're making. They chase attention instead of earning it. They react emotionally instead of strategically. They reveal too much, trust too quickly, or fight battles that were never worth fighting, and then they wonder why opportunities slip away. But what if you could start seeing the invisible patterns behind human behavior? What if you could recognize the habits that quietly separate those who lead from those who always follow? That's exactly what this episode is about. Today we're continuing our journey through the 48 laws of power, exploring laws 6 through 10. These ideas aren't about becoming ruthless or manipulating people. They're about understanding influence, protecting your judgment, and developing greater self-control. Whether you agree with every law or challenge them, they will force you to think differently about the world around you. So I have a question before we begin. Which is more dangerous, having no power or having power without understanding how it works? Think about that as you watch. Stay until the end because the final law in today's video may completely change the way you choose the people around you. And if you're committed to mastering psychology, discipline, and influence, subscribe now and become part of this journey through all 48 laws of power. Let me ask you something. Have you ever worked incredibly hard on something, only for nobody to notice? You put in the effort, you stayed consistent, you improved your skills, yet someone with less experience, less talent, or even less knowledge somehow received all the recognition. It feels unfair, but it's more common than most people admit. That's why the 6th law of power says, court attention at all costs. This doesn't mean seeking attention through reckless behavior or creating drama. It means understanding one simple reality. If nobody knows your value cannot create opportunities. Think about history. The people we remember weren't always the most gifted. They were often the most visible. They knew how to communicate their ideas, present themselves with confidence, and become memorable. In today's world, this lesson is even more relevant. You can have incredible skills, but if you hide them out of fear, hesitation, or the hope that someone will eventually notice, you may spend years waiting for opportunities that never arrive. Visibility and competence are not enemies. They work best together. But here's the warning that most people ignore. Never confuse attention with validation. Attention should serve your purpose, not your ego. Seek respect, not empty applause. Build something meaningful, then make sure the right people know it exists. So ask yourself honestly, are you invisible because you're humble or because you're afraid of being seen? The answer to that question could change your future, and the next law reveals an even greater advantage. Because the most powerful person in the room is often the one who never has to chase anyone at all. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to accomplish so much while others spend every waking hour working and still fall behind? The answer isn't always that they work harder. Often they work differently. The 7th law of power teaches one of the most misunderstood ideas in the entire book. Get others to do the work, but always take the credit. This law should never be used as an excuse to steal someone's achievements or act dishonestly. Instead, understand the deeper principle behind it. Great leaders don't succeed by doing everything themselves. They succeed by organizing talent, learning from others, and building systems that multiply their impact. Every invention, every successful company, and every great empire was built through the efforts of many people working toward one vision. The most effective leaders know how to delegate, collaborate, and bring out the best in others instead of trying to carry the entire burden alone. Ask yourself this: are you spending your life proving how hard you can work or learning how to create results that outlast your own effort? There's a huge difference. Hard work is valuable, but leverage is powerful. Your time is limited. your energy is limited. The sooner you understand that success grows through cooperation and intelligent leadership, the faster your influence expands. Because real power isn't measured by how much you do alone, it's measured by how much positive impact you can create with others. And that brings us to the next law, where you'll discover why constantly chasing people, opportunities, and approval often gives away the very power you're trying to gain. Think back to a time when you desperately wanted someone's approval, a promotion, a friendship, a relationship, or an opportunity. The more you chased it, the more it seemed to move farther away. Have you noticed that? There's a reason. The eighth law of power says, make other people come to you. At its core, this law is about leverage, patience, and self-respect. People naturally value what appears confident, calm, and purposeful. Constantly chasing every opportunity or every person's approval can sometimes communicate desperation rather than confidence. That doesn't mean you should never take initiative. It means you should build enough value that your work, your character, and your reputation begin attracting opportunities instead of forcing every door open. Imagine two people. One begs to be chosen. The other quietly improves their skills every single day until people start seeking them out. Which one holds the stronger position? The answer is obvious. So stop asking, how can I make everyone notice me? Instead ask, how can I become so valuable that the right people can't ignore me? That's the mindset that changes everything. Build your discipline, strengthen your character, develop rare skills. Let your actions create your reputation, because when your value becomes undeniable, opportunities begin moving toward you instead of away from you. And in the next law, you'll learn why the strongest people rarely waste their energy trying to win arguments. They win in a far more powerful way. Let me ask you a difficult question. How many times have you argued with someone, proved every point, and still failed to change their mind? Probably more times than you can count. That's because most arguments aren't about finding the truth. They're about protecting the ego. The moment people feel attacked, they stop listening. They don't hear your logic. They defend their pride. That's why the ninth law of power says, win through your actions, never through argument. Think about the people you admire most. Do they spend every day trying to convince the world they're successful? Or do they quietly build a life that speaks for itself? Results have a strange power. They silence criticism without raising your voice. They answer doubts without endless explanations. Anyone can promise greatness, but only consistent action can prove it. The next time someone underestimates you, resist the urge to argue. Resist the temptation to explain yourself. Instead, let your discipline become your answer. Let your work become your proof. Ask yourself honestly, are you spending more time defending your potential or developing it? Because every minute spent arguing is a minute not spent improving. The strongest people don't waste energy trying to win every conversation. They focus on winning in real life. And when success finally arrives, they don't need to say, I told you so. Their results say it for them. That's real confidence. That's real influence. And the final law in today's episode may be the most uncomfortable of all, because it forces you to ask whether the people closest to you are helping you grow or quietly holding you back. Now I want you to think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they pushing you forward or pulling you backward? This is one of the hardest questions you'll ever ask yourself, because it isn't about strangers, it's about your environment. The 10th law of power says, avoid the unhappy and the chronically negative. This doesn't mean abandoning people who are going through temporary struggles or refusing to support those you care about. Everyone faces difficult seasons in life. The deeper lesson is about recognizing patterns. Some people consistently take responsibility and look for solutions. Others constantly blame, complain, and spread hopelessness wherever they go. Spend enough time around either mindset, and it begins to shape your own thinking. Attitudes can be contagious. If you're surrounded by people who believe every opportunity is impossible, every risk is foolish, and every dream is unrealistic, you'll slowly begin accepting those beliefs yourself. That's why protecting your mindset is so important. Ask yourself, After spending time with the people around me, do I feel inspired or emotionally drained? The answer reveals more than you think. Choose relationships that encourage growth, honesty, accountability, and resilience. Build a circle that challenges you to become stronger instead of making excuses for staying the same. Because your future isn't shaped only by the decisions you make. It's also shaped by the voices you allow to influence your mind every single day. And in just a moment, I'll show you the surprising connection between all 5 of today's laws. A lesson that most people completely overlook. If you've been paying close attention, you may have noticed something surprising. At first glance, these 5 laws seem completely different. One talks about attention, another talks about leverage, another warns against arguments, and another focuses on the people around you. But underneath them all lies one powerful principle: control yourself before trying to influence anyone else. Most people spend their lives trying to control what others think, what others say, or how others behave. That's a battle you'll never fully win. But you can control your preparation, your emotions, your habits, your reactions, and your discipline. That's where real influence begins. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your energy goes into changing other people instead of improving yourself? That most people spend their lives trying to control what others think, what others say, or how others behave. That's a battle you'll never fully win. But you can control your preparation, your emotions, your habits, your reactions, and your discipline. That's where real influence begins. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your energy goes into changing other people instead of improving yourself? The moment you stop chasing approval and start building value, your entire perspective changes. You become calmer under pressure. You make better decisions. You stop reacting emotionally to every opinion. And that's exactly what powerful people understand. They don't waste time trying to impress everyone. They focus on becoming someone whose actions naturally earn respect. The world responds differently when you stop acting from desperation and start acting from purpose. That's the hidden lesson behind these 5 laws. Knowledge alone doesn't change your life. Application does. You can watch this video 10 times, memorize every law, and still stay exactly where you are if nothing changes after today. So here's my challenge for you. This week, choose just one of these 5 laws and practice it intentionally. If it's Law 6, stop hiding your abilities and let your work be seen. If it's Law 7, learn to build with others instead of carrying everything alone. If it's Law 8, stop chasing people who don't value your time and invest that energy into becoming more valuable yourself. If it's Law 9, refuse to waste your energy on pointless arguments and let your results speak. If it's Law 10, honestly evaluate your environment and ask whether it inspires growth or encourages excuses. Don't try to master everything at once. Master one habit at a time, because great transformation doesn't happen through one huge decision. It happens through small decisions repeated every single day. So here's my question for you. Which one of these laws do you need most in your life right now? Keep that answer in your mind because it may reveal exactly what you need to work on next. Here's something I hope you never forget. These laws are not guarantees of success, and they aren't permission to manipulate people. They're observations about influence, perception, and human behavior that encourage you to think more carefully about your choices. The greatest form of power isn't making other people obey you. It's remaining calm when others lose control. It's staying disciplined when others quit. It's keeping your word when everyone else makes excuses. Real power begins with character. If your discipline disappears when life becomes difficult, then your confidence was never real. It was only comfort. So don't chase power for the sake of status. Chase wisdom. Chase self-control. Chase the ability to make better decisions when everyone else reacts emotionally. Ask yourself one final question. If nothing changes after watching this video, was the problem the information or my willingness to apply it? That answer belongs only to you. If this episode challenged the way you think, don't let it end here. Comment the law number that had the biggest impact on you today, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, and tell me why. I read your comments, and your feedback helps shape future episodes. If you're enjoying this journey through the 48 Laws of Power, make sure you subscribe, because this series is just getting started. In the next episode, we'll break down Laws 11 through 15, where you'll learn why becoming indispensable creates influence, why selective honesty can be a powerful strategy, how to ask for help effectively, why confidence often shapes first impressions, and how bold action can sometimes overcome hesitation. Each episode builds on the last, so don't miss the next chapter. Subscribe, turn on notifications, share this video with someone who's serious about self-improvement, and I'll see you in episode 3 of the 48 Laws of Power series.